Paul's in here too, getting some work done. Cool. Well, welcome to our Emerald call tonight. Here he is. He just worked out. They're all like waving at you. What I really just wanted to like mastermind together about, I don't have like amazing. It's awesome. He thinks it's so funny. I don't have like revolutionary tips or things that I wanted to like share about recruiting tonight. What I really wanted to do, we've all been in the trainings. We've all watched videos on Beachbody Champions. We've all, we've all asked the question for years or months or however long you've been coaching. It's like, where do I find business builders? How do I find business builders? How do I sign coaches? And so what I really just wanted us to chat out today was just, I know for me, I love just like hearing what's working or like hearing something new that you tried that like helped you sign a coach, or certain posts that get a lot of engagement, or certain types of invites. So what I really wanted us to do was just like talk it out. Like I just wanted to hear like what are some things that are working, and not really talk too much about what's not working, but I love to hear like, okay, think about the last person that really engaged with you about coaching. What was it that you think you were like, oh man, that's what was either different in me, different in my conversations, different in my posts, different in my invites, different in the quality of person, all those things. I just kind of wanted like, just kind of like talk it out as like a team and see like, maybe there's something that someone will say that'll be like, oh, I'm missing that. Or, something that you say that you're like, oh, I should keep doing that. So does anybody have anything that like, I'm trying to talk a little bit to give you a second to think. Does anyone have anything now that I've given you a second to like process right away that you're like, wait, as soon as I said that, this is like the one thing that popped into my head. Would you guys make sure you're unmuted and share?
I'll go. I think what has been working for me is pouring my heart and soul into my challenge groups and get that energy high and really focus on my clients and getting them results where they are like overwhelmed with, this is a gift. This has changed my life. How can I share that and give back? The last coaches that I've gotten on my team have experienced that and have wanted to pay it forward. So for me, it's really doing a really good challenge group and then following it up at the end of the month with a coaching sneak peek to get those people that were in my challenge group that are like involved and on fire, and then inviting them to that coaching sneak peek and be like, you can totally give back and make money. Would you like to join? And I've had pretty good success with that so far.
I love that. And I would echo that. I'm watching her new coach share like she shares. Like I'm seeing her post and I haven't even met her before. And I'm like, she already looks like a coach. And it's because she's been watching Katie. And that was one of my questions this morning was, like, do people know what you do from the way that they follow you, from the way that you lead them in challenge groups? And so Katie, like, I want to affirm the way you're leading your challenge group is working, because I watch Heather right now and I see her post and I'm like, she posts like a coach who's been around for a year. And so she saw that from just watching you lead. And I think that's such a huge piece of it. So I love that. I love that. What else?
I mean, it's so simple, but time and time again, people are like, I didn't know that I could join you. Like, I didn't know that being a part of your team was an option. So I think, taking it back to the super simple step of like, do people even know what you do? And do they know that they can join you? Because I think it's so easy for us to, put a link tree in and have coach somewhere, on our profile. And then like, we never talk about it. Like, so it's there, but we're not letting people know that it's there. So for me, that applies directly into like my VIPs. Like, do you guys know that you can do what I do? Like, similar to Katie, like, you guys are getting awesome results. Do you know that you can do what I do? And it's worked. I mean, it's turned 5 VIPs into coaches in the last month. So I'll take it.
Yeah, that's been awesome. Again, and then they get it because they're your VIP coaches. They get a closer look. And they're added, I think you add them to your team page, the team page, right? Even if they're just like for the discount. So yeah, they're getting to see if there is something like about the visual that just mean, it's all social media, so we have to do the visual, right? Awesome. What else?
I have been heavily reliant on a third-party tool recently, and like for me personally, just like knowing that it's there, I feel like I can talk about coaching more often versus like, oh shoot, I don't have a sneak peek running right now. Like, can I talk about coaching? Where would I put them? Am I going to now word vomit? Right? Like, so because I have that third-party tool, which I have in two places, really, I have a whole section in my free community that just lives there. And then I also created a new Instagram account. But just like if I see somebody randomly that I'm like, this would be a really great person and I want to talk to them about it, I know that I have that resource that at any time I can drop them over there or suggest that they like that page or drop them in that unit. So I feel like I can talk about it all the time. Whereas before I felt like, well, if I didn't have a sneak peek running, it was a little bit weird for me to invite to that. So I'm really enjoying having a third-party tool to use.
Yes, I feel like that's such a huge point, and I hope you guys hear that. Sometimes it's kind of like with our challenge groups. We feel like, oh, if we don't have something starting on Monday, then what am I inviting to? Whereas we know we want to be inviting to coaching and challenge groups every single day. So that is huge. Like whether it's an ongoing sneak peek that you can pop people into, even if it already happened, it's still there. There's a group. I know like my team, we've had that page where it's like, who cares if it was last week? Go watch it. And then, yeah, I tried the Instagram thing for the first time too the other day. So now it's like you can point people to this separate page and just see what happens there. I think it just takes that fear. I know for me, I say this all the time, when I have a plan, I can invite like crazy because I don't have that fear of like, oh shoot, what if they say yes? What am I putting them into, you know? And it is, that's like that limiting, you limit yourself by not just having a plan. So that's huge. What else? What's been working? Are there questions that we have centered around coaching then, like, or bringing in coaches? Like, what do you guys have specific questions about? Like, hey, this is the area I'd really like to hear more about, or what do you do with this specifically, or anything like that? One of my favorite things that I watched Heather Shipley's Action Hour and Beachbody Champions from a couple weeks ago. And if you haven't watched it, go back and check it out and like listen to it a couple times because she has some really great practical nuggets in there. And two things that really jumped out at me, especially when it comes to us sharing about the coaching opportunity. Number one, she said, people choose to follow you. She was talking about Instagram. And she said, like, they don't just click follow without looking at your profile. So they know that you're a coach of something. They know that you run a business. And she's like, they know that you're into fitness or food or whatever happens to be in those top 9 when they click on your page and in your profile. And they still chose to follow you. So she was just like, you never have to be afraid to invite someone to a challenge group or to coaching and be embarrassed that they're going to be like, whoa, that's weird, because they chose to follow you. So for me, even 3 years into the business, that like gave me like a sigh of relief. Just like that reminder of like, you're right. Okay, you know, like I'm not bugging people, like they chose to follow me. And then the second thing I really love that she brought out, which we talk about all the time, but I really just wanted to remind us of it again, is how we talk about coaching. And sorry, I just kind of like totally lost my train of thought and what she was going to say. Sorry, let me think for 2 seconds. How like, oh yeah, if people are watching us, see my face just got red because I just like totally blanked, like totally blank. She said, if people are watching us and then we go to invite them to coaching, if they have been watching, seeing our posts, seeing our stories, they already know what we do as a coach because they've seen us work out, eat well, add people to our fit groups. They've seen us be on team calls. They've seen us, have one-on-ones with our coaches. They've seen us at retreats and at Summit and at Super Saturdays. They've seen us sit down and say, cleared my inbox. And so all those like little things, and even sometimes I forget all those little things like cleared my inbox or getting back to your messages, or just those little things there that like, if we just continue to show what we do as coaches, people are going to know what we do so that when we come in, those expectations, and I know they don't watch every single thing we do. We cannot expect that at all. But like, there are people who do watch every single thing we do. So I'm going to show up. And what I've been really challenged with lately is not just my stories. I do everything in my stories, and sometimes I forget to balance out my posts. And most of you are actually way better at this than me. So I'm just going to throw that out there for anyone who needs to hear it, because I know for me, I have been so like balanced in my stories that I'm not as balanced in my posts. So I would remind you, as I'm reminding myself, like, are people seeing all the different aspects of coaching in my posts? I think I get so caught up in the great picture with the great content, especially for Instagram, that I forgot, like, it's okay for me just to throw out there what I'm doing, you know, like relax a little bit and just put it out there. So I would just remind you there as well. Like, and again, then it takes that fear down of like, it's okay to invite, because I feel like talking to people is going to be the biggest thing. They see what we do, we talk with them, boom. So now that I've given you another minute or two, what else? What else is working? What questions do you have?
I'll go. One thing that has been working, like piggybacking off of you and Katie, like really just pouring into my challengers. And I started this like last month where I did Zoom calls just like this with my challenge groups. One, like at the beginning of the month to set goals and talk about like what programs we're doing, what we're going to do, and then kind of like a midway check-in, like the middle of the month, just to see how everyone's doing, if there's obstacles and victories, and kind of like that one, because then they're like meeting the people that they're like checking in every day and working out with, but then also like hearing other people's stories and relating with other people, and like, oh, she's a mom too of like 2 kids, like, you know, that kind of stuff. So I think my group really likes it because more people are joining as we're, you know, going through the month and everything like that. So yeah, definitely pouring into challengers, because I think sometimes I get so wrapped up, like I got to get all these invites out, and then sometimes I put them on my back burner where I need to find that balance of both invites and challengers.
Yes, I love that. And I'm excited to do that for my June group, because I think that's such a fun idea. I love that. I think it's so great. And I'm glad it's been working so well. It's like causing the rest of us to be like, that's an awesome idea. I love it. And really, like, I think, I mean, I'm looking at most of you, and it's like we started with the programs and then we fell in love. And that's when coaching takes off. And you watch coaches that maybe like build their business and then all of a sudden fall off. And usually it's because they fell out of love with the programs, you know, or they stopped doing them, or whatever happened in their life and they kind of stopped their workouts or their eating, and then their business starts to fall because of it. So it's awesome. Like, if we can raise up these amazing challengers, it's just, we have to always, I know for me, I always tell the girls, like, be constantly reminding your challengers of like what encouragers they are, you know, like, I am always dropping those messages of like, man, I see you in the group. Thank you for what you're doing. Like, that's inspiring to everyone. So that.
Wait, you're frozen.
Am I back?
All right, Becca, go ahead. Take it away.
Someone might want to message her. Oh, there she goes. Hey, Whit.
Am I back?
Yes.
Okay, that's so funny. You guys all froze, but I did it. Are we good now? That's okay. All right. Well, I'm sure my whatever I was saying was amazing. So we'll just move on. Awesome. What other, I don't want to keep you guys too long. So in the next couple of minutes, what is working? What questions do you have when it comes to bringing in coaches? Does anyone feel like they're pre-qualifying people before they talk to them? When it comes to like, oh, I don't know, like this person's been in my challenge group, or, oh man, they like and comment on everything, but I don't know if they'd be a great coach or not, so I'm not going to ask. Do you find yourself doing that a lot, or no? Or are you just like, oh no, I invite anyone that's breathing?
I don't know if I think like that, but I think like I don't, because I'm a brand new coach, I get nervous that I don't know how to help them be a coach. So I second guess my own qualification to help them do that. And so like, I think I have a girl, she posts lots of stuff on Instagram about her workouts and about how great these last 21 days is or has been, and this and that. And I'm like, oh God, she could be so good. But then I feel so busy that I don't know if I would be a good coach to help her be a good coach. So maybe just a little self-doubt. You're going to throw up? Well, please go to the bathroom then. Sorry. Do you want to spit it out? I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Spit it out.
You're totally fine. It's hilarious.
Too much watermelon.
I love it.
So
do you need a minute?
Okay. No. That's my nervousness. Like, I'm way more comfortable being like, do you want to be a discount coach? Because that's about all I can handle right now, because I'm still learning. And so I feel nervous to offer my services in a larger way when I still feel like I'm learning.
Yeah. And I totally get that. And I remember feeling like that in the beginning too. And what I was constantly reminded of is like the idea of let's do this, let's learn this together. And when Becca and Katie first started with me, I had only been coaching for like 4 months. And I told them from the beginning, like, we're going to do this together. So it almost became just like a partnership. And yes, like I mentored them because I was a few months ahead, but like we learned together. And even now we always say like, we're learning from each other still. Even though I have a few months ahead of them and gotten a few like leadership things maybe before they did it, I still see them as like equals when it comes to the things that we learn together. So I would even go in with that mindset of, hey, like, I'm loving learning this business. I think you would love it too. Why don't we like do this together? And then second is rely really heavily on the team. I talk a lot about how like our big team, you know, like how Dara is like a superstar, you know, like former elite, like how our team is big and growing and we have constant access to top 10 coach training. Like all these like groups that we've been a part of, these are like the top 10 coaches training us. And so I always throw that out there. And I will say, like, I threw it out there before I was at a higher level, you know, like at this point it makes sense. It's like, okay, you know, but when I was a brand new Emerald coach, I would say, hey, as Emerald coaches on this team, we get to be a part like of superstar. I don't know, it won't mean much to them. Just be like the top 10 people in our business run trainings that we get to be a part of. And I would kind of throw that out there and just know that like the team has your back. And I think that that's the beauty of this business is like, you're not on your own. So if you're like nervous about what it would be like, rely on all of the training that we have available. Anything else?
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Any other questions or thoughts?
I have a question about the discount coach option. Like, how are you telling people, like, how are people really considering it like a discount, or is it people who are buying multiple supplements?
I know everyone can maybe quickly share what I do. Every time someone is about to order a challenge pack, I say, awesome, there are 2 ways I can sign you up. And I show regular customer or discount customer. And I show them that starting month 2, they would save $15 on their Shakeology, or if they're getting Energize and Recover, I do the breakdown, it's $16. And just say, just let me know either way, you know, that type of thing. I give that to everyone unless it was a customer super confused on signing up, then I just don't go there if they're already like, this has been chaotic, you know. But so I would say I offer it to everybody. I don't know about everyone else. If you guys want to unmute and share that.
I don't call it a discount coach. I call it a VIP. And so there's actually a script that I send out to everyone telling them about it, and that right now it's not an extra cost, but next month it would actually cause them to have to pay $40. So they could literally cancel it before they would be billed the first $15, but it gets them in the door as a VIP. You help them fall in love with the products, and then they reorder. But I found for me, that's helping me to sign up more people that way and get, you know, more of that lucrative income that we talk about, is referencing it as a VIP. I mean, you think about it with Monat and all of the other MLMs that are out there, they have like market partners and all these other names that they call them. So, you know, maybe you don't want to use VIP, but I want to encourage you guys to come up with a different name for it, right? Because discount coach doesn't really sound cool at all.
Yeah.
You know, so come up with a fun name, and I can post my script in here too. or in the Emerald page. But yeah, I send it to everyone.
You send it to everyone, you said?
Because I enter it like this. So we're talking about it. We know what pack they're going to get. I know their Shakeology flavor, everything like that. I say, hey, I'm setting up your invoice right now. How would you feel if I signed you up as a VIP? And then I explain what that means. I say, it doesn't really matter to me. It just changes how I set you up. And probably 75% of the time, people will choose VIP.
So what you're saying is when you're already going to sign somebody, then you give it to them that they could have the VIP, not like it's not part of your sales pitch.
I literally make mine super easy. Sorry, I don't talk very often, but I make mine super easy. I don't even give them an option. As I'm enrolling them, I'm about to send a link. I say, hey girl, I'm about to sign you up as a coach because you get a 25% discount, and who the fuck doesn't like a discount? And then it's like 99% of the time. However, I'm in this Emerald page because I've been stuck with so many discount coaches. So really, I'm here to learn how to build my business because discount coaches don't get you anywhere.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We all know that. Like, the discount coaches help pad our rank, and they help. I think when someone signs up as a discount coach or VIP or whatever you want to call it, the people who usually they usually write back and say, oh yeah, I will do that discount option. It's because they always say, because I want to be all in. Like they're saying, I always say, like, if you're going to drink shakes for the next 3 months, just do it this route. And it's like, that's always the response, because I want to be all in. So usually I know I'm going to get 3 to 4 months at least of them being like all in. But obviously you need the business builders in order to grow your business and grow your income and things like that. But the discount coaches, like Becca was even saying earlier, that VIP, if they're all in, they're getting results, they're falling in love with it. And a lot of them do turn into working coaches.
Where are you placing them?
That would depend on the day. So typically, if I'm already at SC10, they go under Paul. I also have a second business center. So literally it depends on that specific day. And I first place for rank, and then I second place for income. So like if my rank is solid, then this side needs more volume, I'm placing them there. When I was trying to get Paul to diamond, I was placing them there. Like I think it just kind of depends. I would say just shoot me a message that day and be like, all right, I've got someone, where should I put them? That's pretty much what it's like in the beginning. Any other questions before we wrap it up? I know we only have another minute or two.
I think the last thing I would say, like Whitney, to piggyback off of what you said about reminding your challengers, the kind of encouragers that they are and how they provide support for the group. When I'm inviting to the opportunity, like when I'm talking with someone and I think they'd be great at it, I make sure I tell them why, specifically like traits that I've noticed about them, and following them, those types of things, so that it's almost as if I'm putting it in their brain if they haven't thought about it already, and telling them why I think they'd rock at it. Because I think sometimes, at least for me in the beginning, I wouldn't do that. And so it was just kind of like, I don't know, the feeling was kind of like, oh, I'm just kind of like word vomiting at you about how amazing it is for me. So I've switched recently to tell them why I think it would be amazing for them, and the reasons, in their lifestyle, whatever, that I think they could really benefit from it.
Exactly. They watch us. They know why it's awesome for us. We need to show people why it would be awesome for them. And that's like full circle of our whole conversation tonight, with our challengers, with our invites, with the way we post. It's all like to help someone think about, what would this do for me? Not what this girl, like you watch all those MLMs and you're like, yeah, but that's that girl. Like, how do we get in and have someone see that it's for them? So yeah, I love that. Well, yes, if you have a specific, like, I hate using the word script, but like kind of script that you use when you talk about your VIP or discount coach option, maybe put it in our like Zoom thread that we have from today, in that Emerald group. Like you can even just put it in the comments so it's easy to find, because that's kind of like a coaching conversation going on there. And yeah, and we can just keep chatting. Sound good? All right, girls. Thanks for joining. Oh, I got to take a picture because that's what we do, I was charging my phone with this. Isn't that really fun? My kids found it from Christmas. Let me just show you. I know. Okay, fun. Hi, I love your kids. They're so awesome. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. You guys are great. I'll send it to you. Bye, guys. Have a good night. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, thank you. I feel like everybody's so silent.
Bye, Ashley.